Hey guys, welcome back. One of the things I want to start doing now here with our show, The Scooter Maven, is going to be interviewing people within the industry and outside the industry that I feel can add something to the greater situation we have in transportation in this country that MRP happens to be a part of. I wrote a letter quite recently to the city of Miami to get more parking spaces for scooters, which I hope every dealership and everybody in this industry starts doing in their local cities to help increase the amount of scooters and secondary forms of transportation out there. And one of my guests today, or my guest today, is David Kahn, who's president of the Kiwanis Club, involved in several boards of commerce, has really worked to make the city of Miami better, and also a former Gator and somebody I know in the community that is really striving to make Miami a better place with all sorts of companies and charities, and he's also working with the city of Miami to improve the city of Miami. I mean, there's so many things you do. What else are you doing right now?
I mean, I'm an attorney. I do a lot of work for people, but I mean, I think this is an interesting topic. It's an important topic, and
but let's tell the viewers exactly what you're doing right now, so they understand how involved you are with the city of Miami. You're on the board of directors for.
I do work with drug addiction issues. I do work with like children, homeless children, through the Kiwanis Club, through a charity called Neat Stuff.
He's the president of the Kiwanis Club of Biscayne Bay as well.
Bay. You know, various civic organizations. I work with law enforcement organizations doing. Work to benefit law enforcement, prosecutors. I'm a former prosecutor myself, so just a lot of different varied activities, but I've done some stuff through the Chamber of Commerce, through Leadership Miami. Again, that was helping children, but the issue of transportation it's something, if you've ever been to South Florida and you haven't been run off the road or killed, you'll understand that we definitely need to improve.
We do, don't we?
Some of the things we're doing down here. Scooters is a big part of that, especially for like short distance transportation. You know, Miami Beach is a perfect example. If you don't have a scooter in Miami Beach, I don't know really what you're doing. It's basically like you
can't find parking.
You can't find parking. It's it's essential. But there are other municipalities in the city or within Dade County that could benefit from two-wheel transportation like scooters.
Now, I'm a small business owner. And let's say I'm in the business of scooters. Besides writing a letter to the city council, what else could the small business owners do, since you're in so many business chambers of commerce? What would you recommend the small dealership does to help improve the transportation in their little city? Because, I mean, I got dealerships in Austin, Denver, Seattle. I mean, I sell to companies all over the country, and they're so busy, but at the same time, they're fighting the local municipalities because there's no parking. So, being that you've been on business chambers of commerce and everything, what would you do?
You mentioned Austin. That's a great example. Austin's a college town.
Yeah.
Full of college students. Typically don't have a lot of money, and I mean, I remember being in college with you, and that's where I got my first scooter, and it was probably the best investment I ever made, because for a very low price, I was able to get around very inexpensively, low gas costs. So, what you have in a college town, especially if you're working in a college town, is a large student population that you can tap into, and students, if nothing else, are very motivated. They generally have some free time, and you could tap into that resource to get some of this attention to the people on the campus. You could start with maybe increasing campus parking spaces. That's not a hard thing to do.
So should they start a letter writing campaign? Should they talk to local city
I would
boards?
set up a meeting personally, probably. First, I would try to organize a group. Try to get a few of the student leaders together. Maybe meet with the student body president. I mean, this is obvious. I'm talking about a college town, but
yeah.
But Miami, we have the University of Miami, we have Florida Atlantic University, Florida International University. There's plenty of organizations and universities that touch any major city. So I would start with the top, see if you can recruit some of the leaders within those groups. I would try to call them directly, set up a meeting, present your idea, what you're trying to do, who you are, why you're trying to do it, and see if you can bring them into sort of like a unified group. And if typically when you act to change anything, the more people you have involved, the more people are going to hear you, and the more your message can get out. So I think it's essential to really target heads of organizations and groups in your city that are friendly to this idea. Reach out to them, try to set up a meeting, and just bring them into the fold. Get them on your email list, maybe set up a bi-monthly or maybe even a weekly meeting where you sit down for lunch every week and you talk about the ideas that you guys want to push, and sort of get some structure to your movement. And you'll find that once you start getting a couple of people involved, a couple of key people involved, which probably shouldn't be that hard. I mean, if you really think about the different, groups that would benefit from something like this, then you're actually starting, to move something. You're starting a movement, and when you start a movement, other people will want to get involved just by gravity. I mean, they'll just want to be part of whatever you're doing. And if you can make it cool and you can make it fun, which is kind of the tie-in with students, you can make events around this. You can, you can really, get the word out.
And I really do appreciate you saying this to other small business owners, because it's hard. It really is hard to get the change to happen. I've seen you make so much change happen here in Miami, that behind the scenes, and sometimes people don't know. It takes all these little commissions to make things happen. And being that you're a former prosecutor and you're in all these chambers of commerce, it's good for the small business owner to hear from somebody who's had make change happen in a positive role for Miami.
Well, you don't need to be anyone special or anyone with any special particular talents or background. I mean, really, what it takes is a person who's motivated, who's organized, and who's driven to achieve a certain goal. And if your goal is to increase scooter parking in your area by 20%, if that's your goal, and trust me, if you want it and you work hard enough at it and you're organized enough and you can recruit similarly minded people that want that same goal, you will get there. Because you could be the most famous, smart person in the world, but if you're not motivated to make that change, nothing's going to happen. You just need, more than anything you need, is motivation.
Now, can we count on your support for the movement to get more parking for scooters?
Well, you and I will work on that right here.
All right, fantastic. Well, guys, you have it from a city expert, somebody who's a lobbyist, making change, the president of the Kiwanis Club of Biscayne Bay, helping kids with addictions, a great guy here in the city of Miami, David Kahn. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you,
buddy.
Much. All right.
All right, cool.
Scooters.